It's obviously your first feature, and a lot of people involved, it's the first time they made a film. One thing that struck me was just the sheer size of it. I mean, other people, when they make first films, go for kind of small sets, small casts.
Boring.
I mean, some of the places you get to shoot, in the factory, you know, it seems like you took over the whole town when you made the film.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was, because we had about 200 extras at some point, and at some point you could actually then, you know, when you had a day off, you would see people on the street, like in cafes, and they would be still covered in blood, because we used, you know, we used that soap and color dye that wouldn't go out easily. So you could see like normal people going to work and they would still have like blood splashes all over the place. So yeah, at some point it felt like everyone knew that we were shooting a movie in the town. So.
Was it generally well received in the town? Did they like what was happening?
Well, we shot most of it in Minsk in Belarus, so they're even slightly more totalitarian than Russia is, so they kind of took the whole thing of, you know, protesters being eaten by zombies in the streets with like Russian flags all over the place. That was certainly a bit weird for them, especially because, you know, one of the scenes, like with one of the main action zombie scenes, we shot it actually at the military base, in the Belarusian military base. We put like a Russian flag there for 2 days, and it's like the soldiers would be walking past, always going like, oh, what the hell? What the Russians doing here? And about the factory, we shot while the factory was still working, and so like one of the sections was closed out for us, and the other one they would keep making the train carriages there. And at some point, like we had zombies walking past, and they were like bleeding and stuff, and some workers were standing there like, "Oh, was there an accident again? What was going on? What was there?" I was like, "All right, well then, you know." Then the blood looks at least good. So. it's actually funny the way things change, because when we started making the movie, in a way, even politically, we had a certain view on the whole situation in Russia, and by the time we actually finished it, we kind of like totally changed sides in a way, but it still kind of works. And even the priest was an axe. Now in Russia, where you have kind of this strange church thing happening, where they take over everything and you know, put your girls in jail for 2 years for doing like nothing. And so and generally what I think is that in anything someone should do, there should definitely be some idea above or, you know, below the main entertainment part that you put in it. And I mean, zombies is a great thing for it, because you're allowed to do pretty much anything, because you can always say, look, it's just zombies, come on, give me a break. But in the meantime, you can kind of experiment with it a little bit and try to push it. For example, we met quite often with a friend of ours who works at the KGB or ex-KGB, and he always goes like, look, you definitely have to show me the movie first, because, you know, you've got a priest there, you don't want to end up in jail, show me the movie first. And I was like, oh, come on, it can't be that serious. And that was like 2 years ago, before everything, you know, everything happened, what happened now. But in the meantime, we believe that the image of the priest that we actually portray is highly positive, and actually that's the way the church should be portraying its priest, because otherwise, you know, you've got little kids and kid stories and stuff like that. But here you've got a priest who actually is a protector and saves and actually behaves highly honorable, in my opinion. And because the way we came up with the idea was that, you know, in all the Western movies, the first place you run to when there's something happening is a church. It's always like that, and there's always a priest saving someone with a shotgun or not, or with whatever means. But in Russia, it was like a taboo thing. You never touched on it, because it was like, you know, church, government, don't go there. And we went, well, hell, we go with it. And the thing is, that's what I think. Someone said that, you know, freedom is not the absence of borders, it's finding yourself within them and actually trying to come up with something, you do something in a state like that. Because it's, you know, Russia at the moment is like, you know, wild, wild east. Anything goes, you can do anything, but, you know, it carries a certain risk with it. but at least it's you know, it's definitely not boring. And but unfortunately, all the films that are government funded are either about the Great Patriotic War to lift up kind of the spirit, which I personally think should be done in a different way, and or about Siberian people living with, I don't know, with orphan children and so on and so forth. And so they'll, if people don't live, I mean, what's the point of showing how badly someone lives if you know how it is anyway? And every day they feed you that. They go like, oh, look how miserable everyone is. And you're like, come on. Let's have something, something to look forward to, like a zombie apocalypse.
You said before, there's never been a Russian zombie film. No. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the film industry there?
Partially because genre film in general is almost non-existent. I mean, in the last 20 years we had like two, like Day Watch and Night Watch. That's pretty much like the only two good watchable films, genre films that came out of Russia. And unfortunately, the director Timur Bekmambetov, after doing Daybreak and Night Watch, went to Hollywood and now makes movies there and produces shit movies in Russia. And you just go like, well, that's a bit strange. Why wouldn't you be directing the same, the same quality stuff that you do over there, do back here?
Questions? Yes, on the balcony.
I have a question. I was thinking, how are you really happy with the film that you produced? And if you could change anything, what would it be? What elements of it would you change?
Well, the thing is that when we shot it, we did the best we could at the time. There's like absolutely nothing that I could have done better in the situation where we were at. We shot for 22 days with no funding at the time. Like when I had 2 days off, one I would go back to Moscow and borrow money of like friends and anyone I could to actually come back and pay people for the next week of shooting. So we were really limited in what we could do because of the expertise that we had at the time and the situation we were at. And obviously, similar thing in post-production now, we learn as we go along. Yeah. Now, when I watch it, I see a lot of flaws. I see some scriptural flaws, some directional flaws in terms of that the characters are a bit flat and we haven't actually uncovered. Like now I see many interesting aspects that I would personally prefer to watch, but unfortunately, like we didn't pay attention to them at the time. Or for example, we spent a lot of time shooting dialogue because actors wouldn't hold the text and they would constantly forget it and stuff like that. But then we would have like only 2 hours left to shoot all the action, so I would have to improvise it all. Now see, this is another thing that I wouldn't be doing now. It's better maybe to take another day and do it properly rather than like cutting corners like that. But unfortunately,
hindsight is a wonderful thing, I guess.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, it's always like, this is for us a huge learning experience. So we just went like, look, we're trying, we're doing everything from scratch. We're not relying on any on anything because, well, we were looking for funding in the beginning, trying to find someone who actually would give us money to shoot it, convince them that zombies is a good thing, and that was way before like the zombie wave hit actually everyone. I think the script was finished in 2007. And so like for 3 years we were kind of going and talking to people and we constantly meet some oligarch who was going like, oh yeah, easy, I can give you $1 million tomorrow. And then he would vanish for like 2 months and then turn up and go like, oh look, sorry, we had some problems there and so I don't have any money and blah blah blah. Because the way it is at the moment, everyone they like to think that they can give $1 million any moment. And that's like the thing that the game that everyone is playing, like, oh, I can finance a movie tomorrow, that's not a problem. But then you come up and go like, look, finance it. Everyone's going, oh, maybe, oof.
I think it's fair to say, I mean, every director will always look at his work and go, I wish I could improve it.
Exactly.
You look at what George Lucas has done with Star Wars, keeps going back to it and back to it and back to it. And I think,
I mean, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse, absolutely. So yeah, what I would say is I think, don't be too critical of yourself because I think, for the situation and the way you made the film, I think it really stands up as a
I agree. Awesome.
Questions down here, yeah?
For most of the start of the film, it alternates between this cameraman with a sort of found footage idea and then a more traditional we're getting a lot of found footage horror movies at the moment. What was the genesis for the two different styles? Where did that come from?
Well, it's I don't remember exactly when it originated, but I think it was in a way like the found footage thing. It's in a way easier to do because you have one take. It's all kind of scrappy and dodgy, and you can hide a lot of things under it. But even already back then, didn't want to do the entire film with the found camera, with the found footage thing, and wanted to have traditional actors and this traditional thing. So we decided to bring in this character, the cameraman, who you could first you see through his footage, and then only when he dies you see him actually in like his manifestation as a body. So and again, it was another experiment because you always have found footage films or real life films. We decided to see what's going to happen if we're actually going to mix it up. And actually, another thing, what I would maybe change or think about it, the way we originally decided to make the film is like, real-time events, so it goes on like for 12 hours or whatever. And so we saw that, in 12 hours you don't really need to explain anything whatsoever because this is how it's happening in real life. I mean, if zombies would appear now, the last thing people would ask is, what caused the zombies and where they came from. But now on the hindsight, I would probably not explain where they came from, although I know where they came from, but work the whole zombie appearance a bit more, work on that one a bit more and kind of explore more.
Any more questions? Right in the middle on the balcony.
I just wanted to know, what did you find hardest during the film? Loads of filmmakers say that actually what they find hardest is the distribution and stuff. Is that the same for you guys?
Well, I don't have a clue yet. I mean, no, the distribution part, so far, we had no problems with it. Apart from one little funny story, we found a really good distributor, and he was really keen on doing a large theatrical deal for us, like huge. And they went like, look, we really love your film, everything is super great. Let's just do two tiny things. Let's cut out the zombies and 20 minutes out of the film, and it'll be great.